I am beating every N64 game, and I mean all of them. The twist is, the next game I play is randomly selected, so I have no clue what's coming next. This is the journey to beating every N64 game. Game number 221, Scooby-Doo, so that's what we'll be doing to beat this game. It jumps right into the first title card, What a Night for a Night. We see Shaggy and Scooby walking down a lit street. Apparently they just got done watching a scary movie together. That's great the theater was pet friendly. While walking, they hear what they think is a car crash, so they go to investigate. If I get near these bats, I take damage. Why are there so many bats flying around this area anyway? I'd hate living here. Yep, that sure is a truck that crashed. Wonder what happened. While moving around, you can pick up clues on the ground. Like here, I found a shipping invoice for the county museum, addressed to someone named R. Necros. Also found a handkerchief with the letter W on it. And finally, there was conveniently a fire extinguisher on the ground next to the burning truck. It seems putting the fire out didn't really do anything, but I guess it's the right thing to do. We see the full gang in the worst imaginable parking spot. Did they ram the building? Anyway, a museum curator, Mr. Wickles, walks up and asks why we're here. The museum's closed, of course. We tell him about the truck crash and the items we found, and he says it must be the work of that suit of armor that's come to life recently. He's been haunting the museum grounds. Okay. That doesn't make any sense, but whatever. I also couldn't help but notice Fred's face during this. What happened to the poor guy? Anyway, we notice the museum has an open window on the second floor, so we decide to enter from there since the front door is locked. Aw yeah, a little breaking and entering. So now we're playing for real. The game is a fixed camera perspective, a la the original Resident Evil games. You don't move with tank controls though. It's more like the first person mode in those games where you can move freely. There was one weird issue though, where when the screen transitions to a new place, it carries over the directions from the previous screen. So if you had to move left to go to the next screen, left may suddenly make you move backward in the next one. It was super annoying, but you can reset it by just neutraling the joystick for a bit once the screen changes. I figured I'd have to find something in the area around the museum, but nope. Apparently there's just a ladder on top of the mystery machine. Sure, why not? Inside the museum, there's a security guard wandering around. If he catches you, he's like, I don't know how you got in here, but this place is closed. Well, at least I'm not in trouble. In classic Scooby-Doo fashion, Fred hangs out with the girls while Shaggy and Scooby go do all the work. He said they were going to look for clues. They're still just standing there. Aw, this museum has other Hanna-Barbera cartoons all over the walls. That's so neat. Down here was the front door. I opened it up and let the rest of the gang in. Next thing we knew, the lights in the entire place went out. When they came back, Velma was gone! We decide to split up. Fred and Daphne will look down here while we look elsewhere for clues. Yeah, I'm sure y'all two will be real big help. I went to the Egyptian exhibit and opened a sarcophagus. It was scary, so I took some damage. There are Scooby snacks scattered on the ground in certain areas and they heal you. In one of the sarcophagi there was a bag of sand. Another clue. I went down a hall and oh my god, it's the Black Knight. Like, run, Scoob! This thing deals some serious damage to you if it gets close enough. The door to get out was locked. Well, at least he stood still for me while I checked it. I got scared one too many times, and Shaggy had about enough. He's like, I'm out of here! Dying took me back to the point when I initially entered the museum, kinda punishing. This time around, I found an Egyptian headdress on the upper floor. Yeah, let's just steal that one, why don't we? We would look good in it, you're right. This time around, I managed to evade him and found Velma's glasses on the ground next to where he came from. Very interesting. And then I immediately got too scared again. Dang it. I found out the hard way that the lights are on now and the museum guard can see me from far away. Not only that, but he can chase me into other rooms, like the president's exhibit. I found a tape recorder on the ground in here. Like, Zoink Scoob, this has got the Watergate confession on it. I got caught and he kicked me out once again. It seems this doesn't set you back, only dying does. Let's check out the fine arts exhibit, where it appears they've got the entire life's work of Jackson Pollock on the walls. Examining a flashing pole in the center revealed there was a secret room in the back. There were spiders and rats on the floor back here, surely to scare Shaggy if he bumps into them. I found a blank canvas on the floor, and a paintbrush next to two paintings. One appeared to be in progress to copy the other. The finished one looked ancient. I think we've got ourselves a case of counterfeit art being covered up here. Now I'm in the cafeteria and Scooby is just completely raiding the fridge. These are people's lunches, you know? This is such a jank minigame, but basically I've got to catch the sandwich ingredients in Shaggy's hands as he T-poses. I think this heals you? Let's head to the prehistoric wing. Velma is here and just tied up to a column. That's odd. She is like, thanks for finding me, but I really can't see without my glasses. Oh yeah, I forgot I died after finding those earlier. I also obtained the rope she was tied with. God, what kind of museum is this? Feels more like an obstacle course. No one should be going through this place. Well, I got lost and couldn't find the way out. Dead again. It seems this time I didn't lose all my progress. It never mentioned I got a checkpoint or anything, so I'm not sure what triggered it. Maybe finding Velma? Man, I just barely escaped with Velma's glasses. It's so hard to adjust to the screen transitions. I kind of wish the game just had tank controls like Resident Evil. Okay, let's give Velma back her glasses. So you're supposed to bring all the clues you find to Fred. I did all the work, but he gets to be the ringleader. No fair. Aw, geez, the Black Knight is in the President's exhibit now. He does way too much damage, I swear. This dang dinosaur room is so frustrating. Way too many things to swing into you. If you're wondering, the only things you can do in this is move and use the action button. Kind of like a point-and-click adventure in a sense. I got caught by the guard and ran to the Fine Arts Hall. This time, something new happened. The guard slipped and fell on a wet floor and, well, I think he died. There's no wet floor sign posted anywhere. That's an OSHA violation for sure. Regardless, I picked up his key from the floor. That must be what I've been missing. Now I can open that locked door I found forever ago. These sections are weird because Scooby has to stay behind for some reason. I found a lamp in the back room here along with several additional paintings and under construction exhibits. That was the last thing I need. Now we can execute the plan. Fred will use the lamp to cast his shadow on the canvas. Meanwhile, Velma will use the tape recorder to play Scooby growling, but at half speed. Then Daphne will use the rope to drop the sandbag onto the Black Knight's head. All they need is for Scooby and Shaggy to lure the Knight in here. Yep, nothing wrong with this plan. Not a single thing. I'm sure the Knight will be fine. This was actually a little annoying. I spent 15 minutes running around looking for this guy, only for him to be in the very back corner of the prehistoric exhibit. Just great. This place is so horrible to navigate when the camera changes. I guess I got too far ahead of him? He didn't follow me out of there. Alright, there we go. I kept him directly next to me as I left the room. Now he actually followed me out into the hall. We see the plan in action. Fred totally spooks him with the shadow, and the bag falls directly onto his head. The museum guard walks in and is like, hey, what the heck's going on here? Oh, I guess he's okay. Now it's time to figure out who this Knight really is. Mr. Wickles, the museum curator, but why? It seems he was scaring everyone away from the museum so he could spend his work hours forging rare paintings and selling them on the black market. He would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for us meddling kids. We don't understand why the invoice we found was made out to our Necros though. The gang drives away and we see a mysterious person talking. He's upset we foiled the art forgery operation and led to the capture of one of his henchmen. Uh-oh. Seems like there's an even bigger villain out there. It jumps straight to the next episode. That's Snow Ghost. We're at some kind of winter resort and a man in green walks up. He says this place has been terrorized by the Snow Ghost lately. We don't believe him, but he assures us it's real. The owner of this place, Fuchin Lee, has even vanished. Looks like it's another mystery for the gang to solve. Shaggy and Scooby are tasked with finding firewood while Fred and the girls check out the lodge. Okay, I did not expect Shaggy to just grab every single one of those as if it were a single object like that, but okay. Wait a minute, is that the Snow Ghost? Zoinks! Like, run for it, Scoob! We retreated into the lodge and the rest are like, what the heck happened? We explained we were being chased by the Snow Ghost, but they think we're lying. Nothing's behind us after all. Fred offers to let us search the lodge while he and the girls search outside. I'll take this time to talk about the graphics and audio. The graphics are okay. Considering how late of a release this is into the N64's lifespan, it's a bit lacking for how well the hardware must have been understood by that point. The colors are vibrant, so it's not too bad to look at. The frame rate is obviously quite stable considering it's just static screens. For the audio, all you really hear is music. No voice acting, sadly. The music sounds pretty similar to what you would hear in the show. It's pretty solid. I made my way to what seemed to be a library, and this place is like a maze. So annoying to navigate. Why in the world would someone place the bookshelves like this? It's so frustrating and inefficient. There was a lump of coal near the furnace in the bedroom. Not sure why this is a clue, but okay. And there was a corset on the ground? Why are you picking that up, Shaggy? Weirdo. As the snow ghost is trying to grab me through the windows, I found a white sheet on the ground. There are several on the beds, but I guess this one is super important. Of course, gotta love the sandwich minigame. This time we're in the kitchen. This is the only way to heal yourself other than finding random Scooby snacks. It would be nice if they changed it up between levels. Going outside, I found a pile of precious gemstones on the ground. That's strange. I didn't do anything in the library, so I went back there. In the back corner was Mr. Leach. He's talking about how no one suspects a thing, and to not worry about the people here because the snow ghost will take care of them. Then he noticed me standing there, and uh-oh, we're being chased. Man, I can't stress enough how frustrating this camera change is with how the controls behave. It is impossible to navigate cleanly. I always ended up just running into a wall. It would be fine, but, you know, I'm kind of running away from the evil guy who 4-hits you right now. At his desk, I found an invoice addressed to R. Necros, just like in the last one. I brought the clues back to Fred, and he says we need to go search the nearby forest. Too bad there's a snowplow blocking the way. But have no fear, Velma apparently moved it. Did she just push it by herself, or did she like carjack it? What's going on here? Well, I guess the proper term would be plowjack, but you get the idea. And yep, there's that snow ghost again. Time to run. Okay, here's something pretty neat. That coal I found isn't a clue. We can use it to blend in with this pile of snowmen over here. I have no idea how we transformed that quick. The power of being a cartoon, I guess. I think that's what I was supposed to do with the Egyptian headdress in the museum level. A bit of the way through the woods and I found a cave. There's a wolf standing here ready to attack. Yeah, we probably shouldn't go that way. Scoob, harness your inner wolf instincts. You used to be one of those back in the day, you know. Okay, so entering this covered area leads to the most jank skiing minigame of all time. What the heck? This absolutely came out of nowhere. Where did they even get these skis? I mean, it controls okay, I guess. When I reached the bottom, it just brought me back to the lodge where we started. I guess the only relevance of that is to heal? So maybe they did give a variation on the sandwich minigame. Here's a close-up camera view of Shaggy and Scooby. I was kinda lost as to what to do at this point. That's how this game goes. You try to figure out what event the game wants you to trigger or what thing you're supposed to press the action button on. Feels like a lot of guesswork. There was a sawmill, one of those sections where Scooby isn't allowed in. This place sure is active. Where are all these logs coming from? At the end of it, I found a big old bone. How's that gonna help? I just want to give it to Scoob. Oh, wait, that actually makes sense. Give the wolf the bone to distract it. Oldest trick in the book. Okay, this makes absolutely no sense, but apparently there's an ancient temple at the other side of this cave. Fu-Chin Li was in here, owner of the resort. He's too scared of the snow ghost to leave, but he does give us a key. He said the snow ghost came in here and stole some artifacts and accidentally dropped the key. That makes no sense, but yeah, let's go along with it. The key led me to the attic of the lodge. There was a shovel in here, as well as a book on Tibetan lore? That's strange. This game is so wild. With that, we had everything we needed for our plan. Shaggy and Scooby will lead the snow ghost down the ski slope toward a hole that Fred dug. Cause of course it's us who has to be bait. Velma and Daphne will place the corset we found over the hole so we don't fall in, but the snow ghost does? How does that work? Okay. The snow ghost was hiding in the back of that cave. Time for the plan to be set in motion. Okay, this is actually kind of amazing. Reminds me of that old game Ski Free where the Yeti's chasing you or whatever. I wonder how he's running down the slope like that. We see a cutscene with us skiing past the lodge and it doesn't even show the corset. You just hear a springing sound in the distance. No way that thing held Shaggy and a fully grown Great Dane. Anyway, the snow ghost runs over the hole and unfortunately falls in. What? It was Mr. Greenway the entire time? He learned about Fu-Chin Li's ancient temple from that book he had on Tibetan lore. He hired Mr. Leach to hollow out logs in the sawmill to secretly transport the artifacts. Yep, this is certainly a wild story. Apparently Mr. Leach was arrested because Fuqin Li called the police. Well, that's another mystery solved. Oh yeah, and that mystery guy came back upset we ruined his smuggling operation. He says we may enjoy a long vacation. Ooh, yeah, that sounds nice. We go right into the next episode. A Tiki scare is no fair. Oh hey, I remember this villain. Apparently we took that guy's message to heart. We're now on vacation at a resort. This is Mr. Sims, the resort manager. He asks if we're enjoying our stay, which Fred says it's groovy. He then says he has to go get some plates to prepare for the luau. Fred and the girls offer to help him. Aren't we supposed to be on vacation? Once they've left, a scary guy with a staff and a mask walks up. He scares the bejesus out of Shaggy and Scooby, then starts chasing us. I like how this woman who is sunbathing just does not care about the witch doctor or whatever he's called. In fact, no one else here seems to care. This doesn't bother anyone apparently. Shaggy is a wimp. He chased me down several screens of jungle, like literally 10 of them, but nope. I got caught and Shaggy was too scared. All the way back. Next time around, I made my way to the Tiki lounge. Thankfully, he didn't follow me in here. There was a parrot which Shaggy pokes for some reason, and it told me to be careful. And I found a coin on the ground. That's clearly Yogi Bear. What's he doing here? I had to cross over all these moving panel things. This seems kind of dangerous. Also, why is literally no one in this place? What kind of business is this? This led to a door out back where Fred and Velma asked if we knew where Daphne was. Shaggy informs them of the scary witch doctor that chased us, and Velma's like, quit messing around. We tell them it's the truth, and Fred says it's another mystery to solve. Shaggy's like, before you tell us to split up. And then Fred interrupts and is like, split up? That's a great idea, Shaggy. I stole this coin from this couple on the beach. I swear, I remember that character, but I don't know his name. He teleports or something? Oh, that's right. He's the Great Gazoo. And then Shaggy steals the welcome mat from the Tiki lounge. I feel like that's half of what you do in this game, is just steal stuff from whatever place you're at. Of course, can't forget to raid the kitchen here. It's so weird that you have to do this to heal rather than just giving you your health back. Shaggy finds the world's biggest cracker on a table in the lodge. Can't believe he resists eating it. Fred wouldn't take the cracker or the 2 coins. I wonder what they do then. Apparently this is a one-way door? How does that make any sense? Found this plant in the jungle. Wait, these things are really called palm fronds and not palm leaves? Is that real? And near there, I found a vine on the ground. Apparently this door leads to a place called Heavy to Open. Nah, I'm just poking fun at the typo there. Wonder what's up with all these weird doors. Okay, these statues are incredibly cursed looking. Wow, we've actually got some form of a puzzle. I need to figure out which cardinal direction each one needs to face. I got incredibly lucky here. I mean, there's only 4 cubed or 64 possible permutations, but still, that was really fast. Okay, so, yeah. Shaggy's indeed running on a log while carrying Scooby with the witch doctor chasing him. I don't even know what's happening in this game anymore. Do they do this in the episode? I can't remember. This functions essentially the same as the skiing thing, controls just as jank. Oh, the one-way door is the exit from the log rolling. Got it. No notes. One problem with this level over the other 2 is there are so many of these long hallways through the jungle. It just feels like pointless walking. Maybe they wanted the island to feel bigger than it is? I don't know, it got tedious. Through that heavy door I ran into Fred and Velma. Also some huts. None of us still know where Daphne is. Maybe she's gone forever. Sad. Now I've stumbled upon this absolutely massive statue. Actually, I'd probably go as far as to call it a colossus. There were switches with the numbers 1 through 4 on each side. I painstakingly ran around this thing to press all 4, only for Shaggy to tell me it was the wrong order. How am I supposed to know the right order? So I did the sensible thing and spent 10 minutes brute forcing it instead of figuring out where the game tells you the order. 3, 4, 2, 1. So easy. A door opened to go inside the Colossus. Why is the inside of this thing an active volcano? This is actually dangerous, unlike some goofy guy running around dressed as a witch doctor. Daphne was chained up to the wall in here? What on earth is going on? Sure hope I brought a key. About that. Oh my god, I just got it. I was supposed to use the cracker on the parrot to get the statue combination. Polly won a cracker, of course! I actually feel dumb for not realizing that sooner. Giving the Yogi Bear coin gives the number combination too. Not sure the logic on that one though. Finally, a new area. This must be where the key is. Of course, the dumb witch doctor's here. Thankfully there was a palm tree nearby. Perfect place for Shag and Scoob to disguise themselves as one. Okay, there's the key to the shackles. Let's go save Daphne. Not only did I free her, but apparently that also opened the secret door. Let's see what's inside. Apparently this is a tomb? Also, how did Fred and Velma find their way here? We never told them about the Colossus puzzle. Around the back I found a massive box of pearls. Inside was a shipping invoice addressed to the one and only R. Necros. Oh man, something big is gonna happen, I just know it. That's everything. Time to put our great plan in action. Daphne and Velma will lay the vine across the entrance to the tomb as a tripwire of sorts. This will cause the witch doctor to trip, landing on the grass mat. Of course, Shaggy and Scooby have to lure him here first, because of course we do. Fred is useless, I tell ya. So, I went and found him, slowly lured him to the tomb, and wow, it actually worked. And who was it? None other than Mr. Sims. He's been stealing pearls from all the tourists and shipping them off for profit. Unbelievable. Straight to Davy Jones' locker you go. That mystery voice is really mad now. He thinks it's time to give us a real scare. And this must be the final episode. The case of the classic creeps. We see Velma, Daphne, and Fred out and about when some shadowy figure walks up, presumably abducts them. It then cuts to Scooby and Shaggy following a trail of Scooby snacks on the ground. Apparently the mystery machine is loaded into a big van? How did that happen? They see nothing suspicious about it and decide to enter. Next thing I know, I'm in some kind of dungeon? What the heck is this? Can't believe these guys would fall into this obvious trap. Leaving this room led to some kind of crypt. There were even zombies walking around. Now things are just strange. This exited to someone's home and there were mounted animal heads on the wall that were going nuts. I did manage to find a fish attached to a plank of wood on the ground. Not sure how that's useful, but may as well take it. This path was blocked by a big spider web. You know what? I wouldn't go in there either. Make someone else take care of it. When I'm walking outside at night and walk into a spider web, it's the worst thing ever. I shake so aggressively to hopefully not have a scary spider on me. Outside it was a graveyard. There was a hammer on the ground. May need that to blast this R. Necros guy. And another fish out here. Is this going to relate to the big mouth Billy Bass somehow? There was a music box on the table here. The plan is coming together. I can see exactly how this is going to play out now. And a fourth fish? What the heck is happening? Never mind, I don't know the plan. Is that a torture rack? Seriously, what kind of place is this? Isn't this a children's game? Well, I found a hook in here. We going fishing? Wait a sec. All those fish I found. It makes sense now. This guy just wants some fishing buddies. It's so obvious. Oh, I see. In that room with the mounted animal heads, there's 4 places for fish to be hung on the wall. That yellow one was already there by default. By putting them in order from smallest to largest, the fireplace raised, revealing an entrance to a cave. The witch doctor mask was in here. We gotta be getting close now. There was a handkerchief on the ground next to all these dead bodies lining the walls. Feels like I'm in a Skyrim dungeon. Daphne was down here in a crevice, all chained up. We received the chain as an item? I guess it wasn't locked. But then Daphne's like, oh my god, watch out! The Ghoul King is coming! Okay, wait, that guy actually does look like a Draugr. It dropped a key. How convenient. Alright, we're getting somewhere. There was a locked shed in the graveyard area. In here was Fred trapped in a coffin? I had to use a hammer to remove the nails because of course it was nailed shut. He said there was bug spray in the coffin? Yeah, okay. He's worried about Daphne, so he'll go look for her while we find Velma. Let's kill that spider guarding the upper path. I would personally use a flamethrower, but I guess this works. Oh. Oops, sorry to bother you. I didn't mean anything by it. I'll just be on my way. Apparently I missed this net in the room with the coffin, along with some rungs for a wooden ladder. With those rungs, I repaired the ladder and climbed to the top of whatever this place is. Feels like a fever dream. There were some Tibetan chimes on the ground up here. How does Shaggy know what these are? I guess maybe he read that book. And up another level was the Black Knight's helmet. I seriously have no idea where this is all going, but I'm here for it. Velma was at the top floor. She's like, go find a way out, then walks off. How about we stick together? Doesn't that sound like a plan? Y'all go off on your own every single time. So annoying. And finally, there was a gear on the floor. Alright, let's bust out of this place. I figured the gear would go somewhere in this place, but nope, I couldn't find a spot where it would register. Well, the Ghoul King was waiting for me out here. Time for the classic Scooby-Doo gag of us running through several doorways in a hall, somehow teleporting among all of them. Somehow, we lost him in that mess. For whatever reason, the Black Knight helmet made the tentacles on the bed calm down. I have zero idea what the logic behind that is, but who cares? None of this game makes sense anymore. There was a newspaper and a painting from the museum on the ground as well. Through the back door to there was a place with many gears. A perfect place to put my own gear. It caused the gate to raise somewhere, maybe outside? An oil can on the ground. Ugh, can it be over already? Oh, here's that door where the gate opened. There's a drawbridge here with a big kraken monster? Why does this place have a moat? This whole thing makes no sense. Oh, here's a key. And the mystery machine somehow. Why did he even unload it from the van? The rest of the gang was waiting for us in the lobby. Shaggy's like, hey, I found the mystery machine, let's leave. But nope, they want to stay here in the torture castle and solve this mystery. I think we should probably call for help, but sure, let's go with your idea. This door has been locked since the beginning of this episode. It looks like some ancient mainframe computer setup. There was a magnetic tape on the ground. No way these guys know how to read what's on here. Weren't there like trained operators for running computers back when these were standard? The Ghoul King was sitting on a throne in the next room. He doesn't see us though. I figured I had searched everything in this level, but Fred says I'm still missing something. Ugh. Okay, I have no idea how I missed this. It took 20 minutes to find. This is like literally the starting hallway. I don't know, but whatever. Yeah, great idea, Fred. Let's all meet up in the torture chamber. No issues there. Finally, we've got our plan. Shag and Scoob will of course lure the Ghoul King into the torture chamber, making sure not to slip on the oil Daphne places on the ground. He will then slip and fall into the pit in the center of the room. Looks like an oubliette. There is a net we placed inside that'll capture him. Okay, buddy, let's go on to the torture chamber then. Alright, here we go. The big plan put into action. Stupid Ghoul King. Wait, where did this big hook come from? Oh yeah, we got it at the beginning of this. Apparently, this guy's named Rex Necros, the international criminal mastermind. We learned his name from the newspaper we found. Well, that takes care of that, I guess. No matter the tentacle monster at the drawbridge or the weird thing on the bed or all the zombies, just ignore all that. Finally, we can take the mystery machine and go home to eat a big sandwich. And then the credits roll. Well, that was certainly something. But yeah, that's about all there is for this one. Game complete. So yeah, there you have it. My journey to beating Scooby-Doo Classic Creep Capers. I think this game had a lot of potential. It's kind of like survival horror meets point-and-click adventure, but it just doesn't really execute well on much. It's mostly just walk around and mash the action button, hoping to figure out what you need to do. There were really no puzzles except for the two things with the parrot in the island episode. I don't know. I just think a game like this could do really well on the N64, but this certainly wasn't it. The gameplay loop feels really repetitive and it's also quite short. Most of the reason this took 3.5 hours were all the backtracking, the long hallways, and me getting lost. Not to mention how the controls feel horrible. When the screen transitions, it's anyone's guess as to which way you'll start running. This is especially frustrating when you're being chased by the villains. It's certainly a unique game for the console, but not one I'd really recommend playing. I gave Scooby-Doo Classic Creep Capers a 3 out of 10 for enjoyability and a 2 out of 10 for difficulty. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. We had a randomized marble race to determine which game was next, so here's how that played out. Or skip to the timestamp on screen to skip straight to the game selection. Let's go random. Cosmic Chaos, 170 marbles. It's gonna be a crazy one, like I got WCW and NBA Showtime. Where'd it go? NBA on NBC. And bottom of the 9th. Only one will win. 3, 2, 1, go. Alrighty. We are off. down that thing. You put a quarter in it and it spins around and you watch it and it takes forever to actually fall down the hole. And it does appear we got some early marbles Rugrats in the lead, as well as Irayosuke no Mahjong Joku, Ready to Rumble Boxing, Resident Evil 2, Kirito Kagetsu. Coming through the loop-de-loops here. We'll see if anybody can sneak past. Looks like Rugrats is still in the lead. Resident Evil 2 right behind. I see Rainbow Six as well. And here we go, coming out. Rugrats in the lead. No, it's actually Ready to Rumble Boxing. Irayosuke no Mahjong Joku right behind. And we're zooming through this tunnel. 40 Winks, Goemon's Great Adventure, just a ton of games. And now we're coming down the funnel. The cameraman has gotten stuck. And it's 40 Winks in the lead. NASCAR, yes, NASCAR 2000 in second place. 40 Winks in the lead. Ready to Rumble Boxing right behind. We got a lot of pegs here. 40 Winks getting tripped up a little bit and coming to a complete stop. NASCAR is trying to make a play, but not really being able to take advantage. And we still have 40 Winks in the lead. Top Gear takes advantage of these slow mistakes with the pegs, taking the lead. NASCAR 2000 Hexen right behind. Top Gear currently in the lead, coming down into the speed bumps now. And it's Top Gear getting stopped a bit here, and that allows Mahjong Joku to take advantage coming in. Will anybody go around the speed bumps? Jet Force Gemini around the edge. Not quite avoiding all of them, but avoiding most of the bumps, and Jet Force Gemini is taking the lead, and Super Bowling is now coming through, and we got Super Bowling and Irayosuke no Mahjong Joku, and it is Super Bowling. Oh, that is going to be so much fun. Wow, Resident Evil was in the lead, and now, not so much. WWF, no mercy. Not today. Any day now, WWF. Didn't even finish. Super Bowling. It has been decided. But yeah, if you're still here watching, you're awesome. Thank you so much. If you had a good time, consider hitting that like button, or maybe even dropping a subscription. Or hey, maybe even watch another one of these videos that's on screen now. And yeah, see you next time.